Hi there guys, how are you all doing? I hope you're all doing really well. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Emma. Welcome to my channel. This is my little corner of YouTube where I'm normally found flirting around my bedroom in my size 16 charity shop bargains, styling them up for you and showing you what I've been buying in the charity shops. Obviously, for obvious reasons, that hasn't happened. So I have been a little bit unsure as to what direction to take this channel in while we're in the lockdown, living sort of life that we are, and I decided that actually it was probably best just not to do anything. So that is why I've not uploaded anything for the last 3 weeks. But my son had a word in my ear yesterday and he said, "Mum, I think you really need to upload something. I think a lot of people will probably want to just catch up with you and see how you're getting on." And I was like, all right then. So I have decided just to come on and quickly share with you how we are getting through this lockdown. So for those of you that don't live in the UK, we are currently entering our 4th week of lockdown. So we were told that 3 weeks ago today is Monday the 13th, I think, who knows? And we were told that on today a decision would be made about whether or not our lockdown is going to carry on. However, we were told on Friday that a decision isn't actually going to be made until the end of this week. So for another week we're going to be in this lockdown, and then I'm really not sure what's going to happen. For me, it hasn't really made a massive amount of difference because I'm still going to work and I have been sort of made the designated going to the shops person or going to post a letter person or things like that. So for me, my life hasn't really altered massively. Obviously, I've not been able to go shopping. But for the children and for my husband, it has been a real change. I'm very fortunate in that my husband is self-employed, so he's been able to be at home with the children. I say children, my son is 18 and he has obviously had his A-levels cancelled, so that's all been strange. My daughter's 9, so she thinks it's just the best that she isn't at school. Although she did FaceTime her friend this morning. She's not spoken to anybody really from school for sort of 3 or 4 weeks now. And she FaceTimed her friend this morning and it was 2.25 hours. So if you think I can talk, you want to meet my daughter. So like I say, if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I hope that you enjoyed. And like I say, it's very quick. I made a little list this morning of sort of the things that have got us through this lockdown. Our days are very strange. Every day feels like a Sunday. I've had annual leave, and as you can probably tell from behind me, if you have seen any of my other videos where I've been in my kitchen, or if you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, then I am Radcliffe_E, and if you go to the About Me section of YouTube, my Instagram is linked there, and I am uploading on there quite a lot, and I upload a lot of stories, or I have been uploading quite a lot of stories while I've been on annual leave this week. So one of the biggest things that we've done while we've been in lockdown is paint the kitchen, because we had already got the paint, because we knew that we were going to do it last week anyway because I was off. So we've painted the kitchen. We didn't buy enough paint and consequently it all needs to be gone over again, which is, I just can't even think of anything worse. But the colour that we've used is a colour by Johnson's Paints, and it's called Urban Decay, Urban Sky, and it's really nice, but it's supposed to be one coat, but we've gone from white cupboards to this, so it was never going to cover in one coat. I could tell that as soon as I started putting it on. So this is 2 coats, and we've still got probably to do another coat, but can we find it anywhere? No. Is it sold out everywhere? Of course it is, because everybody's decided to paint everything in Urban Sky while we're under bloody lockdown. So the first thing that we've done really is we've decorated the kitchen and we've painted the walls grey, they were white. So it's gone from being a white box to something quite colourful really for us, and I'm really enjoying that. So and it has been a bit of a labour of love. And the one thing that got me through painting this kitchen, I have to say, was Heart 80s. And there's Heart 70s, Heart 80s and Heart 90s, and I have found that I'm an 80s girl, and I do really love the Heart 80s. when you listen to it all day, you do keep hearing the same tracks, and if I hear Total Eclipse of the Heart one more time, it's like I will throw the radio out of the, the window. But there are some really good songs on there, and it's really, really good for when you're painting. So Heart 80s has definitely been a thing that has got us through painting this kitchen, and got us through a bit of lockdown. My neighbour, very kindly, she is an NHS worker as well, and she saw that our local coffee shop, which have closed, were giving away bags of roasted coffee beans to key workers. And if you've sort of left your details, they deliver them to your front doorstep. Now, we don't have a coffee grinder, but they do. So she spoke to them on our behalf, and she got herself a bag delivered and us a bag delivered. And it came, and it was a big kilogram bag. And I have to say, we've had a coffee every day for 2 weeks. And this is as much as we've taken. Oh, it smells amazing. So this was from Brew and Tucker, which is our local coffee house in our village, and it was just such a lovely, lovely gesture. And this is definitely a proper treat every morning when we get up, and I can make a cafetiere of this, and it just feels quite special. And so that is definitely one of the things that has got us through our lockdown. One of the other things I've been doing lots of is baking, and I have been using this book, which is my Tanya Bakes book, and love me a bit of Tanya. Don't know, she's gone off to be a big movie star now, so but yeah, and there are some really, really lovely recipes in here, and I have got some flapjacks currently residing in the fridge that I've made out of here. And I've made a couple of the cakes and things. I have made a Dorset apple cake that wasn't from here, that was BBC Good Food, and if I can link it then I will. I put it on my Instagram stories, and I did put the recipe on there, but obviously that story will have gone now. And I've also made, what else have I made this week that went down a storm? Oh, fork biscuits, which are again, I think they're a Mary Berry recipe, and they're literally 3 ingredients like butter, sugar and flour. I am having to ration my flour now because I have to decide, do I want to make a cake, or do I want to make some biscuits, or because I've got about 300 grams of self-raising flour left, and that's it, and I can't find any for love nor bloody money. So that's another way that I have been getting through the days, and obviously that's been really good because I can involve the kids with that as well. I've also been reading my little book of Hugo, because it almost feels like every day is a Hugo day almost, isn't it? Because I'm just at home and with no real plans, and we're getting cosy and we're watching movies, and it is really quite nice. And I've heard a lot of people sort of talk about when we get back to normal and think about the bits of normal that you want to get back to, and I always kind of that resounded quite a lot with me. And I do think that I very rarely spend days at home. I work, and I work full time, so there's 3 or 4 days a week when I'm not here because I work 12-hour shifts. So I'm either going on to nights, or recovering from nights, or recovering from long days or whatever, and I'm not here a lot of the weekends. And when I have days off, I've sort of felt that I don't want to spend them sorting out that cupboard, or sorting out those drawers, or decorating that room or whatever, because I felt like I wanted to go out, and I wanted to have breakfast out, and I wanted it to be a big treat, and I deserve this. And I still, I'm sure I will feel like that again, but at the moment, I'm feeling that I have fallen in love with my house again, and we've done all these things to it, and I've cleaned the cupboard under the sink, and I've organised it. And when I go and get a thing, what they called, a bloody squidgy sachet thing that go into your washing machine, a pod thing, I can't even think what they're called. And when I go and get them now, it's like a pleasure, and I've cleaned out my cutlery drawer, and all my cutlery is completely organised. And when I get a spoon now, I'm like, oh, it's so organised. And I know it's only little things, but they're things that I just wasn't spending any time in the house. Yes, it was kind of clean and tidy and Instagrammable to a point, but actually scratched just below the surface, and it was messy and it was unorganised. And I feel that now we've spent all this time in here, and it's made me realise the parts of the house that I do want to do things to, the parts of the house that I'm quite happy to leave. Do you understand what I mean? I just think it's made me, I don't know, I have these days off, and all I want to do is go out and shop and sort of meet friends for coffee, and I still, you know, I'm missing everybody, and I do want to do those things again. But staying at home in this enforced lockdown hasn't really been that bad. It's not the worst thing that could have happened. And at the end of the day, we've still got FaceTime, we've still got house party and Zoom and things like that, so we're able to keep in touch with everybody. I probably speak to people more than I did like without lockdown. So I don't know, I feel it's just I found more time just to read, and you know, we've played games as a family, and I know that it sounds like I'm idealising it all and though it's been this perfect lockdown, and it hasn't, but actually in some ways it's kind of been quite a turning point for me, and I think a lot of people are probably going to feel like that. And I think even though they may say in a couple of weeks that the lockdown is over, I think it's probably going to take quite a while for everybody to stop standing right next to somebody else in the queue in front of them, and for us all just to rush back to the cinemas and to theatres and things. I think stuff like that is going to take a while, and I think because people have found their own entertainment, I hope that things like that carry on, you know, sort of quiz nights on Zoom and stuff like that. They're so much fun, and I hope that stuff like that does carry on. You know, totally gone off my track. So The Little Book of Hugo, and I have been reading this, and it's just such a cosy book. And I think because we've just got this enforced time at home, it almost feels like you can sort of hunker down and bake and do all these lovely cosy things and curl up and watch a movie, and nobody's clock watching, and it is very strange, but I am trying to take all the positives out of it, because it would be very easy to think on all the negative points about, you know, the fact that the schools are closed and the fact that we're probably going to cancel our holiday, and all these, you know, negative things that could potentially eat away at you. And I'm trying really, really hard to not think about them and just to think of all the lovely things that are coming out of it. You know, the clap that the NHS do, not the NHS, the clap for the NHS on a Thursday night. You know, I went out of my house on Thursday, and where we live is, it's a converted orphanage. So it's got quite a lot of grounds, and as we sort of go out of our house, you can see all the grounds and you can see all the properties, and loads of the people had come out and clapped, and a lot of the people know via word of mouth that I'm an NHS worker, and it almost just feels like they're clapping for you, and people are cheering, and it just is really, really emotional. And I think the outpouring of love, not just for NHS workers but for key workers as well. You know, it's not just me that is going to work and all my colleagues and NHS staff. It's, you know, it's the people that are filling the shop shelves in the co-op, and the delivery drivers and people in factories still. And there are still a lot of shop workers that are in. And, you know, I've got a friend who works in the oil industry, and she's still there, but, you know, making sure that they can get diesel out to the emergency services vehicles and stuff like that. It's just, it's people like that that you don't even think about. So, but I've gone off the track again. But yeah, anyway, it's Hugo. So I've been reading little bits of that as well, and that is a really cosy book, and it's basically light a candle and have a bit of cake and lie under a blanket, and that's Hugo in a nutshell. I have been reading, this is The Little Flower Shop by the Sea by Ali McNamara, and I am that far in. I've got that much left to go. I'm absolutely loving it. So, and again, I haven't picked a book up. I did a book review about 6 months ago, I think, on my channel, and I had read 5 books in quite quick succession. And then I haven't read anything. I started the Vagina Monologues and I got about 2 pages in and I wasn't really enjoying it. And I started reading something else which I can't remember, and again, it can't have enthralled me very much because I think I got halfway through that and shelved it. And then I thought, this is so me. So I don't even know where I've had it from, whether my mum's given it to me or I just found it on the bookshelf and thought I'm going to read it. And like I said, that's only been probably 2 or 3 days of reading, and it's just rekindled my love for reading a book. And if you take nothing else away from this video, Emma's top tip is, when you go food shopping, take your book with you. I've read about 10 chapters stood in a queue, 1 waiting to get into the supermarket and B waiting to pay for my stuff in the supermarket. Just take my book with me. I've done loads of reading, and everybody in the queue has gone, oh, that's a really good idea, I'm going to bring my book next time. So yeah, if you take nothing else away with you, when you go food shopping, just take your book with you. So what else have we been doing? What else? So television wise, we've got Netflix, and we discovered a programme called Murder and Successful. I think we're really, really late to the party on this. And it may not be everybody's cup of tea, but we just really, really enjoyed it because it's my kind of humour. And so we've watched that, and there was 3 seasons of that, and we limited ourselves to 1 a day. So we've watched them. I've finally watched the 2nd season of A Liar. I won't spoil it for you, but that's been amazing. That's been on ITV, and I actually think the first series is there as well. So if you've not seen any of them, that is worth a watch. What else? Disney Plus. Who hasn't got Disney Plus? So yesterday afternoon we settled down with some pick and mix, which was basically just some sweets from the supermarket that I'd bungled all together, and told my daughter it was pick and mix. And we watched 3 Men and a Baby, and then I think later on we're going to watch 3 Men and a Little Lady. And it's funny just watching the films that I used to watch. I mean, I think 3 Men and a Baby came out when I was 12, which I was like, was I 11? It's like, oh my God. But yeah, so I've introduced her to that, and like I say, we're going to watch 3 Men and a Little Lady later, and just so excited for that. And what else? I think one main thing is that the weather has just been amazing, and we couldn't ask for more. The downside of that is that everybody wants to get out and about, don't they? But we are quite fortunate that we do have some outside space. And if you time it right in the morning when you get up, then you can sit outside and have a cup of coffee in the sun, and then the sun disappears and then it kind of comes round the house and back again. So we're without sun on our front for about 4 hours, and it is freaking freezing out there. So if you get up early enough, you can enjoy a cup of tea in the sun, and I've been really enjoying that, and I've been really enjoying reading back copies of Ideal Home and Country Homes and Interiors. I was reading a Country Homes and Interiors the other day. It was from 2003. So 17 years old. And we've been doing PE with Joe in the morning. I have to admit we've not done it this week, but we did it for 2 full weeks, I think. And literally couldn't walk the next day. So God knows what his actual HIIT workouts for adults are like, because I couldn't barely walk after doing his PE for kids. Red wine is getting me through. Every time I go to the co-op I buy a new bottle of red wine. That's getting me through, and I do quite like a sneaky Merlot of an evening. And what else? Do you know, I think that's probably about it. I've done some crafts with my daughter. She was a little bit disappointed because although I was able to get Easter eggs, I wasn't able to get any of the like individually wrapped little eggs that I would do an egg hunt with. So, and she was a little bit, because I had to sort of say to her on Saturday, look, we've had an email from the Easter Bunny, and the Easter Bunny isn't going to be able to do an egg hunt with real eggs because there's obviously, because of coronavirus, the bunnies have got to be really careful, and they've not been able to go and pick up the little eggs. And I saw a little lip drop, and I thought, oh God, what can I do? So we ended up doing some like drawing eggs and colouring them in, and we ended up drawing 35, only little ones, and we coloured them in, and then some we covered with magazine, like paper pages out of magazines, And then I hid them all around the house. And to be honest, she was absolutely fine with that. And then we made some bunting, which again, if you follow me on Instagram, you look at what mess I've made of that. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen this, a bunny bunting. And it's all completely in a mess now. But it was, oh, for God's sake, it was really... Anyway, this is the bunny bunting. So it was basically, I cut out a little bunny shape. I used the bottom of my water bottle and the top of my water bottle, and then just freehand some ears. And then I did the same, I cut out a template and then I put it on the card. And then I just got pages out of magazines and stuck them on, and then I had some of these little pom-poms left over, so we just did little pom-pom bottoms on them, and then we had them, they've been hanging on our fireplace over Easter, and it wasn't very hard. And somebody messaged me on Instagram and just said, I just wish I'd got the stuff and I would love to make some myself. And I said, listen, you just need, I literally used like a really old thin shoebox, but you could use a cornflakes pack or anything. I used pages out of a magazine. Hey, I've done it, thank God for that. I used pages out of a magazine to colour them with, and then little pom-pom bottoms. But you could make the pom-poms if you've got a little bit of wool, and a fork. I think if you look on Pinterest, it was there how to make a little tiny tail. So that's something else that we've been doing. We have been doing quite a lot of crafts. I mean, I do a lot of crafts with my youngest anyway, so I have got quite a stash of crafty stuff that I've been able to kind of, you know, just rejig and bring out and stuff. And I think probably, apart from the fact that I am probably going to need airlifting out of my house by the time this is over, we'll need the kitchen window removing so that I can get to work. God, I think because I'm at home and I'm baking more and I'm making proper meals all the time. I mean, obviously we're not eating junk food because nowhere's open. Sorry, I keep wobbling this table, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so, and I'm drinking out of, this is my Emma Bridgewater, this is my New York mug. And we have booked to go to New York in August. And I think we're going to have to cancel it. And again, it's just one of those things, isn't it? And we'll be able to go again. We had arranged to go this year because it's our 20th wedding anniversary and our son was 18. And it just seemed like the perfect year to go. We haven't been abroad. I haven't even got a passport. My passport expired 13, 14 years ago. So that's how long it is since I've been abroad. And we were like, right, this is the year that we're going to go. And of course, isn't this the year we have a global pandemic? So it's unfortunately, again, I just keep saying, oh, it's just one of those things. It's just one of those things. But it is, and there's nothing that you can do about it. So I'm drinking out of my New York mug as a little nod to New York. And if you are in that area, you know, I hope you are staying safe because you're having it really bad over there, guys. I know I think you're probably having a lot worse than us. So who knows when this lockdown will be over? Who knows when we'll be able to go charity shop shopping again? It has made me realise that I don't need a lot of clothes. You know, when you go on holiday and you pack your bag for a week and you wear the same pair of shorts and the same 2 sun tops for the entire week, and you take 10 pairs of shoes but you only wear your flip-flops. Well, that's kind of how I've been this week. And I looked at all my clothes. I did a frock, was it called Frock Down Friday? It was somebody on Instagram that said, let's get dressed, let's get a dress on and let's put some makeup on and let's wear a dress on Friday and call it Frock Down Friday. So me and my daughter did that on Friday. And I literally looked in my wardrobe and I was like, oh my God, all these lovely clothes I've got, and I just haven't worn any of them for a month. I'm literally in pyjamas or sort of loungewear, or for the last few days, because the weather's been so nice, I'm wearing the same pair of blue flat face shorts my Converse and one of a variety of these tops. You know, I've got about a million, but I'm probably sticking to the same sort of 3 because they're on the top of the pile. And I just think it's literally like when you go on holiday and you just take all these clothes that you don't wear and you bring them all home unworn. And it does make you think that actually you can just get by on, on not many clothes at all. This is the first time I've worn makeup. I wore makeup for Down Friday, but I didn't wear foundation. I literally just put a bit of lip gloss on and some mascara. I've literally gone the whole hog today and only like very rough. But I was like, oh my God, I've got makeup on. I think my husband thinks there's an intruder in the house if I'm actually dressed with makeup on. But yeah, so that is little old me. So like I say, it's been, I hope, it was just, I just wanted to touch base with you. I just wanted to catch up with you, to tell you what we've been up to let you know that we're okay. I hope that you're all okay. I hope that you're staying safe. I will be back. A few people have asked for a new kitchen tour. Once we have got the rest of the paint, if we ever manage to get another bloody tin of it, there's a couple of other things that I really want to paint. And I've ordered a couple of bits for the kitchen, so I will update you as I get them. I've not really done a great deal as we have painted a few little bits of furniture. I saw over on Rosie Henshaw's channel that she had done sort of her top 10 charity shop pieces of furniture, if you'd like me to do something like that, because basically everything I own is either from a charity shop or has been handed down to me. So if you'd like me to do something like that, I'm more than willing to do that. So that is it. So like I say, I hope you enjoyed this video, and please stay home, stay safe, protect yourselves, protect the NHS, clap as loud as you can every Thursday at 8 o'clock, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you to everybody who has sent a message. Lots and lots of you have sent messages to say that you're thinking of me and my colleagues, and it doesn't go unnoticed and it is appreciated, so thank you so much. And yeah, and that is me. So I will see you all really soon. So you all take lots of care and lots of love. See you soon. Bye bye.